Now, south of the border, U.S. President Donald Trump has also been on a campaign to eliminate woke ideology from college campuses. And today, Trump threatened to withdraw funding from Harvard University after the university failed to comply with the White House's demands. Jason Stanley is a philosophy professor at Yale University who recently made public his decision to leave the U.S. for Canada, in part because of this, and he joins me now. Jason Stanley, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me on.
So we're seeing today that the president has threatened Harvard's tax-exempt status, as well as frozen $2 billion with a B dollars in funding. This is the sort of thing that caused you to leave. I mean, what are you thinking as you're watching all of this unfold?
Well, attacks on universities for cultural Marxism and political correctness and, advancing an LGBTQ or leftist agenda. These are the harbingers of autocracy all over the world. It's how Viktor Orban started his election campaign in Hungary, attacking Central European University for leftism. You know that authoritarianism and the dismantling of your country is coming when they target the universities. And then in the United States, the Trump administration is targeting the world's greatest university system. And if you take that down, you're taking, a lot of what's great about my country down.
You know, they're threatening Harvard now. They targeted Columbia because of the occupations that happened there, and $400 million in federal money was on the line there, and Columbia buckled, right? They gave the U.S. administration what they wanted, and you said this was one of the reasons you decided you and like your other colleagues, leaving Yale to go to the University of Toronto. I mean, is this a one-off? Is this a trend? Where do you see this potentially going in the United States?
Well, I think Canada stands to benefit from this all. I mean, the attack on our universities, the attack on our intellectual class, the dismantling of our government, the addressing every social problem with tax cuts that are going to go to billionaires, let's face it, and the super wealthy. All of this is going to dismantle the United States, and it's a gain for Canada, as long as Canada stands up for the Canadian values of supporting its citizens and academic freedom. These are values that are going to attract not just academics and researchers, but many more people from the United States.
You know, you specialize in fascism, and you've written about it extensively. And during the election campaign, there were members of Trump's first administration who were warning that he had fascist tendencies, autocratic leanings, and now we're seeing not ignorance of the courts, but ignoring the courts, usurping Congress through executive order. I mean, where do you think the trajectory of Trump 2.0 potentially goes?
I don't think you can legitimately call the United States a constitutional democracy anymore. Trump yesterday, in a very extreme development, said that he wanted to start transferring homegrown people to El Salvador's concentration camps, where he's already sent migrants. And the courts have ordered him to return some of them. And he's categorically refused. So he's openly simply ignored the Supreme Court even. So it's a constitutional crisis. And Trump always says what he's going to do. And he said he's going to be a king. And so that's what we're seeing. And the United States, it looks like it's fallen to an autocrat with designs, an autocrat who has designs on Canada.
You know, obviously, Trump and his actions and the nature of his administration is fueling the thought process of voters in the Canadian election here. One of the criticisms of Mr. Poilievre, the Conservative leader, is that he's too much like Trump, at least tonally and stylistically. He's promising to crack down on things like woke ideology, also wants to defund public broadcasting, as Trump wants to do in the United States. What do you make of the comparisons the critics have of the Conservative leader compared to what Donald Trump is doing? Because it seems like there is a gulf of difference between the two. How do you view this?
I have not yet delved into Canadian politics, and Canada is distinguished by its not taking the American route. America has, even before Trump, America had before El Salvador and Bukele, America had the highest incarceration rate in the world.
Right.
So most of our states had higher incarceration rates than any other country in the world. So we were already a police state. Going in the direction of mass incarceration destroys the soul and character of a country. So there were already deep worries. And fascism, according to a lot of the classic literature, like Césaire, is when they start doing to white people what they have long been doing to people of color. And so that's a lot of what we're seeing today is the police state that was erected in the run up to mass incarceration, now directed against migrants and possibly now to student protesters and ordinary and other civilians.
But what is happening there is an extreme example beyond the rhetorical similarities, right? I think, I know you say you haven't studied the Canadian election and politics too deeply, but a stylistic similarity and a substance similarity, there's a big difference, right?
I don't know enough, but defunding public media, I'm very strongly against that. Canada represents for the world the support, government support of the instruments of democracy. And what are the institutions of democracy? The free press, the universities and schools, and the courts. And you see any attack on them, and it's a bad sign. As I said, I haven't yet followed Canadian politics,
Right.
but the government needs to support the press, and attacks on the press are a canary in the coal mine.
Jason Stanley, it was good to meet you, sir. Thank you for joining us this evening. Appreciate your time.